Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Miel Hebraica, and today I'm looking at Bashar Ehad, a single flesh, one flesh, unified flesh, flesh that's been brought together. And this is we're looking into Genesis chapter 2, where the woman is created or formed from the rib of the man. So it's a very interesting story, and lots of interesting details to it. The first three chapters of Genesis establish the operating principles of God's creation. Certain things are set in place, and certain things derive from that throughout the rest of God's creation. And so we see an operating principle here. We see something established that we live with even to this day. So it isn't just simply history of the past, but it's something that is set up in such a way that it impacts us even to this day. So one flesh, Bashar Ahad, and let's get to that study. Genesis 2:21. So Jehovah caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, he took one of his ribs and he closed up its place with flesh. Ve'yapel Yehovah Elohim tardema al hadam vayitzan vayikach ehad me'eshalotav vayishgor Bashar Tachtena, and he caused to fall. Caused to fall. The fall is to knock him down. Boom! I had him standing there. Wow! Down he goes. Yafal, Yehovah Elohim. This is the subject of this particular verb here. Caused to fall. Hifel. Incidentally, this one doesn't look like a hifel. Apparently operates as a hifel. All the other ones look like hifels, but are just simply indicatives, but they do have quite a deliberative sense to them. So you just notice here, Yishan, Yikach, Yitzgor. So all of these things are do it, and do it, and do it, and do it, so forth. Okay. So Yafal, Yehovah Elohim, Tardema. This is to fall into a deep sleep. We see this in Jonah, Nirdam. So the captain goes to Jonah, goes, Nirdam, you sleepyhead, get up. Things happen, interesting things happen when we are asleep. We have visions, we have dreams, things that happen to us. But this is something that the Lord has brought upon Adam. Okay, so the Lord makes Adam fall into a deep sleep. Adam, to Adam. Vayishan, and he slept. Okay, Yishan. We also see this particular verb in Psalm 121, where Lo Yishan, Jehovah does not sleep, but here man is most certainly sleeps. Al Hadam Yishan, Vayishan, he fell asleep. Vayikach, and then he took Ehad, one. Now we're studying, doing a series of studies on the word Ehad. Okay, we have Yom Ehad. We'll have Yehovah Ehad. He's a single. He's one God, unified God, and so the whole concept of Ehad is something it's one, but it's part of a grouping. Mine is here also. Okay, Ehad, Shalotav, and this is the ribs. Okay, the ribs is in plural here. Incidentally, the paleographic sense of this particular letter here helps us out a little bit as to what this rib is. Okay, Meshalotav. It's this is the lamed here, lamed right here, of course, and it's original meaning of it was ox goad, but of course it's kind of a long stick. Okay, a long curved stick. So the Lord takes a long curved stick from the man. Okay, which happens to be one of his ribs. Okay, so literally you go, and then the Lord took a long curved stick, a long lamed, from the side of the man, and so what you have here is in a sense of pulling one from a grouping. So you have numerous ribs. The man has numerous ribs inside of him, and the Lord selects one of those to pull it out to form the woman. So Mishalatav, from one of the ribs of him. Okay, Tav Vayishgor, and he closed then Bashar, the flesh, And certainly, this is the first time you see flesh in this particular study, but we'll get back to Bashar Ehad at the end. So, Bashar Tachtena, and this is in its place or underneath it. Okay, the flesh that was underneath, well, the skin or of the man. Okay, underneath in place. And Jehovah made the rib he had taken from the man, Shalah, here now it's in singular, and he had taken from the man into a woman and brought her to the man. Yeben, okay, we still see the Hidik, or the Hidik still operating pretty strongly here. Yeben, and then he built, okay. The verb root is bana, to build. Incidentally, he's building now a woman from this rib. This word's also used a lot for building families. In fact, Ben, the word son, also derives from this thing, to be built. And when Leah and so forth are building, they build their family. So the Lord is building now. He's putting it together. And also the word bain, to be together, to stand together. He's pulling it together. Okay, Yeben, Yehovah Elohim, Et ha-shelah, the rib, okay, then he built on this rib. Here it is, like so. Asher lakach, now lakach is, here again we can use some of the ancient original meanings of of our consonants. The kof, its kof is a rope with a knot on the end, and so lakach means he took. It's like he almost roped the rib and he pulled it out of him, like so. Okay, boom, pulled it out of Adam, and he took that rib, min ha'adam, from the man, le'isha, for a woman. Okay, now this is there's no hata on the bottom of this thing, so this is by the way a preposition. And when I read this thing through numerous times, I go, okay, understand the direct object marker here, et ha-shalah, and I sort of expect that here, but you don't see it. You just see a lamed of purpose, a lamed of prepositions. This is direct object marker. In other words, the rib receives the action of the building, but it isn't that the woman receives the action of the building. It's for, this is the result then, okay? So, le isha, in order to, in order to be a woman, okay? Le isha. Lamed often is, as a preposition, has a sense of purpose or pointing it towards, okay? So, le isha, in order to be a woman, in order to have a woman, into a woman, okay? Le isha. Ye be'eha, and then he brought her, okay? Yebe'echa. This, I guess, is caused to be brought her. The antecedent of this feminine suffix here is the woman here. Then, and he brought her et Adam, towards Adam. Okay, towards Adam. He brought her to Adam, to the man, Adam. Vayomer Adam, zot hapam, etzem. Oh, it's a nice segolate, okay? So segolate is going to be a milel, okay? Etzem, me etzal me, ubashar me bashri, lezot yakra isha ki me ish lukoha zot. Then the man said, this one, Vayomer Adam, it's, okay, the accenting, Omer Adam. This looks like a sinor or sinoretta. It's probably has the same. It's going to be a conjunctive accenting here. Okay, Vayomer Adam. And the man said, Zot hapam. This time. This is the one at last. Okay. Now we have to ask ourselves the question. Who is he comparing this one to at last? Okay, so if you say the word last, okay, it means, oh, there's something that preceded this. And what preceded this? And if we look back into the preceding verses, we see Adam naming all of the animals of the creation. So there it goes, one after the other, everybody gets a name. But then that particular sequence ends with the affirmation, lo yomatza etzekenegdo, and there was no helpmeet found for him. Among all of those animals, none of them is appropriate as a helpmeet. Now, there has to be a helpmeet, and here it comes. God builds for the man a helpmeet, and this is then Isha. So Zot Hapam, and so this at last Pam, this time it sticks. Okay, Zot Hapam, Hashem, a bone. Okay, Hashem. This is part of the family of Esh. When you have a Esh just without the mem, you have a wood or tree. Okay, so it's a specialized type of wood which happens to be a bone. Okay, Hashem. Okay, something that's structural, something that's got form to it, it's got strength to it. Ezem, me, azema. Okay, of my bone. Okay, me, azmai. So this is a preposition, driving preposition from azema, from my bone, ubashar, okay, and flesh, mebeshari, okay, from my flesh, okay, ubashar mebeshari, okay. So we've seen bashar when the flesh has been closed. Now we see bashar when it's been derived, and then we're heading towards another use of the same word bashar, okay. Ubashar, mebashari, from the flesh of my flesh, lezot, to this one, Yikra shall be called Isha. Ki me ish, lukoha zot. Lukoha. This is a nice, don't see this a whole lot. See, it's a Hatayef comments here, which is pronounced as an O. And then the kibbutz here gives a passive or reflexive sense of this to be taken. We saw the active form in the previous verse, lakach, okay, and could have another time the kof came up here again, but lukocha, he took, lukocha, took her, okay. So we have now the etymology of these two. When I'm teaching Hebrew to my regular students, I always will start with ish, okay, man. This is aleph, hirik yod, shin, and then from that you add a feminine hey at the end of that. Drop out the yod, and you have isha. So obviously, this particular name is derived from that name here. So for this particular word, isha, the woman, ki ish, from the man, likacha, was taken her, to be taken her, zot, her. So, therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother, hold fast to his wife, and they shall become a unified flesh. Okay, bashar ehad. Okay? The flesh has been brought together. Third time we see the word flesh in our study here. Okay, so sort of a very central aspect of what's happening in this particular narration. Al-ken, then most certainly, yes. Okay, Ken is it's yes. I have a friend whose name is Ken, and I said, well, when I went to Israel, I heard a lot about your name. He goes, how can that be? He says, well, Ken. Yeah, when you have two people talking with each other and agreeing with each other, they keep saying Ken to each other. So, Al-ken, most certainly. Azav, shall abandon. We see this in the Psalms. Eli, Eli, lama azavachtani. My God, why have you abandoned me? Azavachtani. This is Azav here. Abandon a man will abandon. That's the object of, or the subject of this verb here. A man will abandon et aviv, his father, ve'et imo, and his mother, ve'et tabak, and he will unite, he will glue, okay? Hold on tightly. See it in Ruth, first chapter, when Noemi is expressing Ruth is expressing her union with her mother-in-law. She says, okay, I'm going to hold on tight. Okay, want to put together a family, we're going to hold on tight. So putting together a family means holding on tight. Okay, gluing yourself down. Even to this day in Israel, if you want to buy a jar of glue, you go into the hardware store, you say Debek, find a jar of glue for you. So Debek, Dawak. So, and he will unite, glue himself, Beishto, onto his wife, Beishto. We've seen Ish, Isha, and now this one is then Ishto. This is the construct form of Isha. So you take the Ish, which has already dropped the Yod, and instead of having a Hey, you have a Tau for the construct form of it, and then the woman of him. So this is the construct of Isha, Ishot, Ishet, Ishto, and then the noun, the pronoun, suffix pronoun on the end of this Ishto, and his wife, Behayu, and they will be then, they are, Lebashar Ehad, they will then be one flesh, okay, Bashar Ehad. This means a unified flesh, brought together flesh. They are one. They are considered one. Okay? Lebashar Ehad, a unified flesh. Two have been brought together into one. Yehu, and then they were Shnehem, the two of them. Okay, Arumim, naked. Adam, the man, Beishto, and his wife, Velo Yit Boshehu, and they weren't ashamed. They were not ashamed. Bosh is when you're ashamed for something, and they were not. They were not ashamed. Okay, Boshehu. Brings us to the New Testament in Ephesians. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. Okay, Bashar. And he who loves his wife, okay, loves himself. No one ever hated his own flesh, at least if you're normal. If you're mentally ill, it probably happens. But no, if you're normal, for no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it. Now, here's a tremendously interesting comparison being made here. Just as Christ does the church, just as Christ cherishes the church, he loves it, cares for it, he nourishes it. We are members of his body. And then this operating principle of Christ and his church is established in an operating principle of what we see in Genesis chapter 2, the study we just made about this whole thing. It's a direct quote here. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother. Okay, yes. Therefore Ajav Aviv Ve'amiv Ve'debek Alishto Ve'shtehem Bashar Ehad. They will be one single flesh. Okay, and this mystery is profound. Okay, it's interesting to see it as a mystery. Mystery in the Bible is something that's covered for a while, but will be revealed at some point. So this mystery is profound. I'm saying that it refers to Christ and his church. In other words, Christ and the church establishes who cares for who in a very profound way, and then the last teaching here that comes from Paul to the Ephesians is, however, let each one of you love his wife as himself. Let the wife see that she respects her husband. And so that brings them into being a single flesh. So a unified couple is a tremendous example of the way that Christ is caring for his church. And this also, these two things go together. We will be a unified couple as husband and wife, because that's the way God has made us. But then also God makes Christ, or God has sent Christ to be the leader of the church as well. So and that also brings us together in unity then with Christ. Okay, Christ builds his church as a unified church. So God bless and God strengthen you in this day until the next time.